To our live stream, I'm a reporter, Danni.
And I'm Xinchen here.
Right now, we're at Luntai County in Mongol Autonomous Prefecture in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. This is day 24 of amazing Xinjiang special coverage. And we're here today for...
We are not just in the Luntai County, we are in a natural reserve. It is the largest natural reserve for a special poplar, which is called the Diversifolia poplar. Very, very difficult name. And Diversifolia means varied leaves. It's a special poplar that only lives on the desert. And over 60%, over half of the world's population of this poplar actually is in China. And 90% of China's Diversifolia poplar are here in Xinjiang. And we are now in one of the largest natural reserves, the Tarim Poplar Park. So that is the largest natural reserve of this kind of poplar in the world. Yes.
And also we drive like 20 hours along the desert road for 552 kilometers, and finally we reach here.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is the end of the desert highway, but of course about a poplar. And we have a train behind us, and I need to introduce a friend with us so that he can guide us through the journey here, maneuvering the natural reserve. We'll have Li Li, a guide out here, the Tarim Diversifolia Poplar Park. And let's just hop at the end of the train. 简单的，其实我们来简单讲一下我们这个现在的这个胡杨林的状况吧。So can we just share a few details about this park?
现在我们是我们的小火车终点站恰阳河火车站。
我来先翻译一下啊。So we're at the destination of this train, a little train. It's a train circling in. Let's just hop in the train first. So this is a destination for the train circling at the park. 您坐。 So sorry for the interruption. We ran into a few technical problems, but we're back. So once again, we are here in Luntai County. We're in a special natural reserve of a special kind of poplar, which is called the Diversifolia poplar. Diversifolia is Latin. It's a very difficult name. It means the varied leaves. Leaved is a special kind of poplar that only lives on the desert, and we're inside of the Taklamakan Desert, and we're at the end of the Tarim Desert Highway. We've been driving on the road for the past 2 days, and here we have Li Ling, who works for this Tarim Park, Tarim Diversifolia's Poplar Park. 我们先能让这个小火车先动起来吗？李总？
可以，可以。
你先让它我慢点走就行。
那先让开火车，开一档。
So we are now on a train circling inside of the park. And we're at the final destination for the start of the train. And we're going to circle just a little bit, and we're going to find more about what it looks like the poplar. And I just asked you earlier about like what's the current situation or the overall introduction about this park. Probably we're just going to pick it up again. 李总啊，就是因为我们讲现在目前我们整个公园的概况是怎样？
现在的话，我们景区现在到了终点站是个恰阳河火车站，然后呢，我们现在乘的是我们的第一辆观光小火车，然后是在林子里面这样穿梭，绕过红柳林，经过芦苇荡，然后呢，途经会是经过3个湖，有这个天鹅湖。
天鹅湖。
对，天鹅湖因为到了10月份的时候，这个南迁的这个候鸟，还有这个野鸭子、黑鹳都会在那里觅食。
好，我先翻译一下。So we are just starting off from the final destination, the Xinjiang River, a river, one of the 3 rivers passing through this natural reserve, and we're going to go through the bushes and the forest, and we're going to reach different lakes. The first lake will be the Tiange Lake. It's like the Swan Lake. That's the place where all the birds will come back during winter, during summer or winter. 是夏天会回来对吗？还是？
对，它是秋天的时候，经过这个胡园林的时候，它会下来。啊，如果说我们有心的话，都能拍得到。
哎，它是这个鸟是去回到内地吗？还是往哪个方向？哦，你也不清楚啊。我也不清楚。So like birds will like migrate during like different seasons, and during autumn they're going to pass through this forest, and sometimes they are going to rest on the trees, right? 那我们接下来是去到的你讲的3个河，我们还要去到哪些地点呢？
我们就说中途的话3个点，第一个点是我们的咸渠湖，然后这个咸渠湖的话，四面都是一个环绕型的一个胡杨树，然后里面呢是一片海一样的东西，如果在这个戈壁之间的话有一滩水，就相当于沙漠绿洲一样的。
So we're also going to be able to see an oasis. Like some water pound in the desert and surrounded by like poplars and rose willows and other kinds of desert plants. 但其实我们一会儿这个小火车会到的，我们会下车的地方是哪儿啊？
我们下车的地方就是我们的第一个湖，咸渠湖。
咸渠湖对吗？叫咸渠湖哪个咸哪个？
是休闲的闲，趣是有趣的趣。
So it's a lake means leisure and fun. It's a leisure fun lake. That's where that we're going to take off from the train. 那边还有什么特殊的地方吗？
特殊的地方的话，就是说，在这个远离的人道的这种宣泄，然后呢，在这个林子的最深处，你能看到一片水，能拍到水中的胡杨树，水中的倒影。然后那边的胡杨树相比之下要比较小，它比较稀稀一点。然后呢，你主要是能拍到水中的倒影。
So it's a place where less people, with fewer people. Probably just our cameraman can give us a little shots like outside the window. 还有我们可以看一些外面的这个，直接就是红柳。So we have like rose willow out there. So rose willow is also another very popular. I think this 是红柳对吧？
对，这是红柳。
So it's another very popular desert plant here on the Taklamakan Desert. And today it has been very touristy. We've been seeing a lot of people coming here, and I just learned from the park because right now it is a 7-day Golden Week holiday here in China. 2 days ago it was China's National Day, and it also coincided with the Mid-Autumn Festival, a day on the lunar calendar, a day for Chinese people to get around for family reunions. And they are now offering free tickets to tourists, so that's why we are seeing a huge influx of tourists. A good sign post the COVID-19 pandemic. 那我们先讲我们这整个胡杨林的规模是怎样的呢？
胡杨林的规模的话，我们胡杨林景区就我们单纯的公园是占地面积是100平方公里，就是
100平方公里是 It's 100 kilogram.
Square kilometers.
So do it account.
So it's 100 square kilometers. Yeah.
So that's the
That's
size of
quite-
the park,
yeah.
right? That's the size of the park. 那
然后像剩下我们景区主要是以4大个模块，有这个，还有一个就是沙漠景观，我说了吗？
说了，还有最后一个
沙漠、湖洋、沙漠景观、湖洋景观、湖泊景观，
景观，还有一个
还有一个塔河景观吧。
塔河是塔里木河的这个塔河。
对。
So basically, people can have like 4 different sceneries here in the park. Of course, they're going to be able to see a lot of the Diversifolias, poplars, and they're also going to be able to visit a few lakes, as we have mentioned about like the Swan Lake or the Chaoyang River, and of course the Tarim Lake is also passing through this region, this part of the desert, so people can also take some pictures along the Tarim Lake. It's a very important lake here. It has rejuvenized so much things, give birth to people around this area to create an oasis. And of course desert, because we're at the middle of the desert. 自己其实颜色是分明的嘛，这个您了解吗？
像我们这个湖洋的话，春夏秋充满了这种生机勃勃，然后到了秋天的时候呢，它就是一片熏黄。拍出来的照片也特别的好看，很吸引人。如果说在水
So basically, I asked Li Ling, our expert here at the Tarim Poplar Park, because if we look outside the window, 我们再给一下外面的画面吧。We can see like different colors on the tree. Some are still green, but a lot are also turning orange and yellow. The Diversifolia is popular, and when we get off the train, I want to show our viewers why it's called Diversifolia is popular. We're going to have a closer look at the tree leaves and etc. Right?
I do have another question, like how to distinguish. For me, I cannot distinguish the Poplar, the poplar with the
Rose willow.
Yeah. 所以，林总，您知道这个红柳枝跟胡杨林，它这个胡杨树就看起来其实很像，它们有什么区别？
它们的区别就是有胡杨树的地方呢，就有。
我看到的现在的这个是什么呀？
这是我们的红柳最常见的。如果说你要是在这个塔河或者附近吃过这个红柳烤肉的话，那个红柳的签子就是用这个碱烤出来的。然后像我们这景区的话，你现在看到的主要的胡杨树以长须胡杨为主，就咱们现在眼前看到的很多干枯下垂的须枝，胡杨形成这样的须枝的话，主要是减少水分的蒸发。然后呢，它的这个胡须又多又密，就像维吾尔胡须的这个维吾尔族的这个胡须一样，又多又密，所以我取名叫长须胡杨。
So let's translate for a little bit.
Yeah, so like the one you saw here is the most poplar here in this park. It's like the Uyghur's beard and mustache. So it's called the beard and mustache poplar. And also this, you see here, you can make it with the lambon spore. So that's a slightly different between the poplar here in this park.
So we're going to get off the train so that we can have a closer look at all the different trees and rose willows or the poplar or the beard poplar. Can I open it? Oh, okay. So we need the driver to help us to open the door, and we're going to get off the train and to have more of a closer look at.
For me to help
Yeah.
you get a better understanding.
Yes, and we need to mention that about rose willows. They're going to use the branches here, very popular, to use it to roast and barbecue meat, like skewers.
稍等一下，他拿个凳子垫一下。
好。So let's get off the train, and my camera person, be careful. Oh, 慢点。
It's quite dangerous.
So let's come over here and we're going to have a closer look at all the trees and the branches and of course the tourists, and I hope that we can speak to a few of them. 李总，这就是你刚才讲那个胡须，对吗？
对，就像这个。
So earlier, Li Ling told us all these branches, they are so thin and so fine. It's like a beard, beard, mustache or a beard. And why they have all these like little stretches and branches is that so that they can save water. I guess, right? 就是这个是为了是那个能。
它主要是减少水分的蒸发。对此呢，它的根条就做出了改变。然后呢，就是又多又密，就像那个当地维吾尔族的这种胡须一样。所以说呢，这不是根，它的根在地底下。胡杨的树根就像咱们的渔网一样的，是很发达的，就像渔网一样的，是在扎根这个地底下有1-2公里。所以说它为什么没有水它也能存活？主要是为了这个吸收地下水。它的根系是很发达的。
So the root can spend like to 1 mile away, like can absorb the water and the vapor from the ground. So it's quite like a huge root.
And all that effort is to save water. 没关系的. Is to save water. And let's come over here. We're going to get on the little paddle pedestrian walk over there. That's really for the tourists. And we can also, of course, and we're going to wave goodbye to our little train. They're going back to the station. They are going to pick up more tourists, and they are going to get them off along the road, and for them to have a closer look at all these different plants. And this is rose willow, I think. 这个是红柳吗？
红柳。相传他们有一个很好听的名字，就是叫胡杨和这个红柳在一起，就名字叫做沙漠呼吸树。就像这有这个，对，它的这个7、8月份的时候，它就像那个胡杨树在的地方就有红柳在，然后呢，它们相依为命。
So the rose willow and the poplar are like husband and wife. So if there is any rose willow in the desert, you can always find a poplar behind.
现在还没开花对吗？
现在它已经开过了。
Oh, actually, it just. Because I know like rose willow, it blossoms during different seasons, but it's not right quite the time that we can see flowers coming out of the rose willows.
Maybe during the summertime.
什么时候开花啊？
它一般开花的季节都在7月份到8月份。
So yeah, it has the flowers during the summertime, in July or August.
如果我们的这个镜头你可以拉近一点，咱们的胡杨树有3种不同的叶子，在这个底部的话，它都是像那个柳树状的，然后在中间的话是枫叶状的，尖尖上是圆叶状的。
So I want to translate that for a little bit. That's the reason why we're calling it the Diversifolia's poplar, the leaf, the poplar. So the poplars, they have different leaves, different shapes. When they were younger, they have the narrower, smaller leaves. And so that they can save water, and as they grow older, and especially as they grow taller on the top of the tree, and it will become rounder. That is what I learned from like leading. Yes.
Like if we can take a closer look at one of the poplar tree.
So, like come over here. So look at this. This is a young poplar leaf. Look at how narrow. Yeah, very narrow, very small. But it will expand, and on top, as they grow bigger, and on top of the tree, it will be like a fan shape. 就可以像个，就它长大之后，其实就变成圆的了，或者是枫叶的。
它就是说，在成长初期的话，它就是跟咱们看的柳树状是一样的。
那它长大了之后再顶上去。
长大了以后，它底部的叶状是保留的，只是发生到中间的时候，它就发生了改变。然后中间就是枫叶状的，最上面一层就是圆叶状的。然后它还有一种很多的名字叫做三叶树。
对。So that's as they grow bigger. I'm going to continue to translate it. So they have like narrow, smaller leaves, and as they grow older, it expand. It'll become like round and wider, bigger, so that it's better for them to enjoy the sunlight, to get more sun exposure. But as they were younger, it's trying to save up water, right?
But it's amazing that like 3 different kinds of leaves will like on the same tree. So
yeah, absolutely. So it changes as it adapts into the weather. As we have mentioned, Diversifolia's poplar can only found in desert. And just think about it, we don't really have that much of water resources. and it lives on the desert. So it adapts, it changes shapes of the leaves so that it can survive in the desert. And I can hear some music. Can you hear it?
Yeah, for sure. Like beautiful music over somewhere.
Yeah, I can hear it. Let's try to find it. And follow me. Come over here. I saw a beautiful young lady. I think we stop a lot of tourists and trying to, and we plan this show for our viewers, and let you enjoy this music. Bravo, thank you so much. Danny, come over here. Can we sit around you? Yes. Great, yes. So we have a familiar face back here with us. We have Liu Qingyao, a very popular musician and famous here on the Chinese version equivalent of YouTube, Bilibili. We're actually a lot of viewers. We get a huge crowd over there. A lot of people know this song. So what's the name of this song? 我们这个弹的这个曲子叫做
十面埋伏，是我们琵琶非常经典的一首曲目。
So it means like ambush from all around is a very classic piece in traditional pipa music. And actually I just learned yesterday during our first meeting that pipa actually is from the western regions here in China. It got imported to the mainland. But why did you pick this piece for us, as we, surrounded with poplars? 就为什么在胡杨林里你选了这段曲子呢？
胡杨林有着它自身的一个含义，它代表着坚强不屈。它让我们，尤其是西北的胡杨林，给我们一种塞外归人的这种感觉。那十面埋伏呢，是我们琵琶非常经典的一首曲目，它讲述的是公元202年楚汉争霸的一个故事。它讲述的是刘邦这一方面获胜的一个这样的一个感觉。但是久经沙场的这些将士们，其实才是我们真正应该去歌颂或者说是纪念的。
我先翻译一下，简单翻译一下。So, Qingyao told us that because when she thinks about the poplar, she thinks about the stubbornness, the hardness of the poplar. And I'm going to adding a little bit. In local people have a urban legend about a poplar. They are saying the poplar can live like up to 3,000 years. They are going to live for 1,000 years, and they won't. And after they die, they won't collapse for another 1,000 years. And even when they collapse, they won't turn into ash for another 1,000 years. And it makes Qingyao feel about the stubbornness and about like warriors. And this piece actually it is about the battle during the Three Kingdoms, right? 是三国前后对吗？算是蜀汉。
楚汉相争，就是汉代之前。
So it was before the Han Dynasty, like 202 BC, 202公元后个202年前。And this music is actually about the victory, and the soldiers and the sacrifice by they won the battle. 其实我们来到了胡杨林了，可能也应该不是你第一次看到胡杨林了，但是可能是第一次来到新疆的胡杨林，感觉有什么不一样的意境吗？
我觉得可能这边的胡杨跟我之前看到的胡杨比的话，它生长得更加粗壮，更加的粗犷，它的气质更加的奔放。
So and I asked her because she has been traveling around China. And she just came from Dunhuang in Gansu province a few days ago, and it is in southwest China. It also has poplar and also desert. And asked her what's the difference between the poplar that she saw in other parts of China or here in Xinjiang. And she told me that she found this in a wilderness that is stronger, is wild, kind of and its shapes are kind of strange, right? And we actually prepared something for our viewers. I've lived abroad since I was very young, and I know that I have a limited Chinese understanding, but I'm trying to do a poem for our viewers, but I do need to read it out aloud. Probably our camera person can just give a shot of the poplar, and I can try to do the little poem. 康康老师，我们可以拍一个我们的树。然后会朗诵2句这个古诗 and I'm going to translate the 拍树就行了 and I'm going to translate the sentences that I had for our viewers and we made it's like a show but I'm not ready. Are you ready? I'm not ready. Hold on a sec. Danny, how do you feel? How do you like the song?
Honestly, this is my first time hearing this song. I never heard about it before, but I was so shocked, and I think it's so good and embedded with this scene and everything. So it's really beautiful.
I think I'm ready. I think I am ready.
Do you need some music?
Yes, I needed the music. 君不见，走马行川，雪海边，平沙茫茫，黄入天。轮台九月风夜吼，一川碎石大如斗，随风满地石乱走。So that's I have prepared for our viewers. It's a two lines from a very famous poem called 走马行，走马川行，奉送出师西征。So that's what's so special about this piece. It's always about Western regions in the old Chinese history, and even today, right? The linkage between the Western regions with the Chinese, with the mainland, in the inland regions. And history can trace back to the Tang Dynasty, or even before that to the Han Dynasty, even before the crisis was born. There is a huge linkage between the Western regions and China. And this piece is about how the general is sending off all the soldiers to guard this part of the country, to stand against with the invaders and etc.
And even I visit a historical site here in Luntai. It's called the ruins of Luntai. So they find out that it's even before the Han Dynasty, tracing back to 2,500 years ago. So that's the oldest site they could ever find here. So that might also prove that it's even earlier than the Han Dynasty.
Yeah, so the history can really trace back to actually Luntai County could be the first ever administration for China to actually guard its people and to guard from invaders. Yeah.
So that's really amazing history.
So all the history and all the culture here is all about, we can trace it back to 22 BC, and of course during the Han Dynasty that will be 66 AC, etc. Yeah. So it's a huge history. Let's just finish off the song for a little bit. Thank you so much. Very nice. And we're going to do another vlog with Xinjiang later today, and we're going to post it as soon as possible on the internet. And of course, Xinjiang is going to join with us throughout our amazing Xinjiang journey. We're going to visit Turpan. That'll be your favorite place, right? Turpan. And we're going to go to the Jiaohe ruins, and we're going to visit the desert again. But I'm going to give you a little break, and we're going to turn around a little bit more about the poplar, and we're going to bring back our guest Li Ling works for the Tarim Poplar Park. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. 谢谢你，谢谢你，太美了，太美了。Oh, by the way, some people just left a comment online said that you're so pretty. So let's come back to Poplar, and I mentioned the story, the urban legend about the 3,000 years Poplar. apologize for losing us again, but of course we are in one of the largest natural reserve for Diversifolia poplar. It's a natural reserve. It's a natural reserve. The signal is not that good, but I think I need to say like technologies are very important today, and because of technology, it made our life possible. Like right inside of a natural reserve, in natural forest of Diversifolia poplar. I'm going to introduce Diversifolia poplar once again. It means like the poplar that has different leaves and it's only lives here in the desert, and over half of the world's population of Diversifolia poplar are here in China, and over 90% of China's Diversifolia poplars are here in Xinjiang, and we're in the Luntai County in southern Xinjiang's Mongolian Autonomous Prefecture. And right here we have Li, who works for the Tarim Poplar Park right here. Let's just pick up from where we left, right? I just asked Li Ling about like the livelihood or how long Diversifolias will live, and also we have a fan, Carol Tan on Facebook asked, will these trees lose their leaves during winter or are they evergreen throughout the year? And I think that really comes to the question that I want to ask. 李总啊，就是其实我们能听到有很多当地的人会讲，胡杨树有3000年，1000年不死，1000年不倒，1000年不朽。
对，
这是真的吗？然后我们有网友在脸书上问，这些树会掉叶子吗？到冬天的时候，还是说它就一年四季都是这个就是绿色啊或者有颜色的？
像现在的话，11月底以后，这个打霜了以后呢，咱们的叶子这个经过这个风一吹，它就是掉了。它只要是叶子一黄了以后，它是很脆弱的，稍微就这个手一碰到它就掉了。其实它留给人家展现美的时间也就那么1个星期。
哦。
It's very fragile during the winter time. After it turned yellow,
We're in autumn, and when the leaves will turn yellow. 康康老师能给我找几片黄色的叶子吗？就那种黄黄绿绿的就行。So look at that. Usually during the summer or the spring, the Diversifolia poplar are green, of course, but they would turn yellow during autumn. And Li Lin just told us that once it turned yellow, it became very fragile. And once there is a wind, it can blow the leaves away. So that means for our Carol Tan on Facebook, no, it's not evergreen throughout the year. It loses leaves during winter.
And the most beautiful for the poplar is only for a week.
I think it depends on people's taste, right? Because it will turn bright yellow in the next week. I think that's when it's really before it loses fall off from the tree, and during that time it will only last for a week. Some people love like bright yellow poplar, but of course a lot of people would say poplar has a different look throughout the year, and even for green poplars is also a really good sign to look. And even when the trees all lost its all, look at this, lose all its leaves, still it gives the people a different feeling and a different tense. And I also want to ask comments from our Lili here. 李总啊，其实是有很多人讲，其实我们的胡杨林一年四季的景色都不同。虽然说可能最好的季节是那一周看到我们的正黄的这种胡杨林啊，其实夏天和光秃的胡杨林是不是也有一些看头？
夏天的话，你看，如果说像夏天的话，冬天家我先跟你说，叶子掉了以后，它就是光秃秃的一片。然后到了冬天家的时候，咱们下的这个雾凇，那个雪景，那真是也是一种美。那这是可遇不可求，除非是这种你今天过来旅游，突然之间碰到这种今天晚上下雪，那也是特别的美。然后到了春夏秋季的时候，这个叶子长出来以后，你看到这一片，就感觉生机勃勃，整个大地是充满了那种很生气的那种形状，我也没办法用词语表达出来。
现在轮胎还会下雪对吗？下雪多吗？
这2年下的少，前2年的话还是有的。13年、14年我是经过大雪的。
哦 So actually, because we're in the desert, and it surprised me first, it has lakes, it has water, it's not just sand or dust. And also I just asked Li Ling, because from the poem that I said earlier, and actually they will write about snow right here, and Li Ling said during the past 2 years he didn't see the snow, but before that he did see some really big snow. And when it snows, the snow will rest on the branches of the poplar. It's a different look.
Another feeling.
Yeah, another saying. we have a little bridge right here. Let's come over here.
所以这个湖就是刚刚我们说的那个天鹅。
这是恰阳。
哦，恰阳。
这是我们的那个塔里木河的一条支流，新疆母亲河的支流，然后我们取名叫恰阳河。为什么叫它恰阳河？用维吾尔语翻译过来就是蝎子河。相传的以后这个河边周围都有很多那种蝎子。它用汉语翻译过来就是恰阳河。
Oh, so this is a branch of the Tarim Lake.
Yes.
So it has the name. They got the name from because there's lots of scorpion around this lake, so they got this name from that. It's called Chaiyang.
Chaiyang is the Chinese pronunciation of the Uygur Chaiyang, and it means scorpions. That legend says these are urban legends. Like locals found like a lot of scorpions around the lake, and that's why they are calling it the Scorpion Lake or the Chaiyang River, the Scorpion River or the Chaiyang River. Yeah, and it's a branch of the Tarim Lake.
So how do you feel about today? Like, I learned a lot of knowledge about the poplar, and I think it's really a natural resort. I got so much bite from the mosquitoes and bees, I think.
Yes.
But I had really great time here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been driving for the past 2 days on the desert highway, the Tarim Desert Highway. It is the longest desert highway here in China. It was built many years ago. And of course, I need to have a special thanks to our cable rides provided by Geely Autos. 就是要再次感谢吉利汽车，能让我们在沙漠公路上平静的这种行驶啊，因为沙漠公路其实还是比较艰苦的。And of course, for the satellite system that we have been using, Beidou satellite navigation satellite system, so that we are not losing our way maneuvering this part of the country. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we should also thanks to our special guest.
Yeah, of course, we
Li
need to have a special thanks to Li Ling. He works here for the Tarim Diversifolia Poplar Natural Reserve or Park. It is the largest Diversifolia Poplar park here in the world, actually. And also special thanks to Liu Qingyao. Earlier, she played a piece of music called Ambush from All Around for our viewers. Some really enjoyed it. And I think we need to wrap it up for today, for the time's sake.
Yeah. So this is a special program, Amazing Xinjiang, day 24, and we're going to say goodbye from here.
Yes, absolutely. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Weibo, and etc. Thanks for watching.